All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Live from the Owl's Nest. I'm Alicia, but no Jamie. Instead, we have a special guest today. I'd like to bring up Ms. Brenda Spandrio. Brenda is one of our RoyalWise OWLS members. And when I say OWLS, OWLS stands for the on-demand web-based learning solutions. And so we teach people how to use QuickBooks and how to use Microsoft Office and how to use Apple products. And so Brenda's one of our members, and she's also become the bookkeeper for RoyalWise. And I thought it would be great to have her on and celebrate our community. So, hey, Brenda, welcome.
Hello. Happy to be here.
So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm currently located in Arizona, where it's only 106 today.
106? Oh, my God.
That's down a bit. I've worked from home for about 20 years now, doing a variety of different things, and finally landed on bookkeeping.
Oh, awesome. What were you doing right before you were doing bookkeeping?
Right before bookkeeping, I was a virtual assistant by way of being a professional organizer. So I took the circuitous route to bookkeeping.
Well, you've said it before, and I really like the analogy that being a bookkeeper is sort of like being a virtual assistant for books, because it's all about putting things away and putting things in all the places so that you have a nice organized system.
Oh, exactly right, because I didn't even know how to balance my checkbook until I was in my 30s. So I'm not a numbers person, but I have found that bookkeeping is a matter of putting things where they belong and recognizing when something's out of place and where's the best place for it.
Hey, excellent. Well, how did you discover RoyalWise and the OWLS and find our program?
I was absolutely desperate. I had an issue with a client, and I was having a lot of trouble finding someone that would help me to figure out this problem. The person that assigned me the problem wasn't being helpful, and it had in fact told me the wrong way to do things, which I didn't find out until I found you. Fortunately, in this era of Facebook and everything and belonging to groups, I was just trying to find someone that could help me through this issue, and you were available. And your patience and your understanding on how I just didn't know, because I was at ground zero as far as trying to figure out this issue. And the way you walked me through, the fact that you recorded the whole thing, that you were patient enough to say, no, that's not the right thing to click. Go back and do the other one. The issue was resolved. I had now in my hand a way to go back and do this over and over again, because it was something that was going to be a monthly deal. And through that, then found out you had the whole program, and it was just a lifesaver.
Mm-hmm. And for those of you who don't know, one of the services that I provide is support for bookkeepers. So I'm kind of like a help desk. But you know how, like, if you call Intuit or call QuickBooks, they can't help you because they don't do bookkeeping. They can help you with the software and issues that you're having, but they can't tell you how to, like, reclassify payroll or manage certain situations. And so that was how Brenda first found out about me. Was kind of like she made this list of things that she wasn't sure how to do in a file. We went and we answered them. And like Brenda said, I like to record the sessions so that you have it, so that you can refer back to it, because everything always makes sense that, like, one moment when you're doing it right then, but you come back like a month later and you're like, what did I do? And so because you joined our gold program, we actually created you your own custom course so that we had a repository for all of your videos all in one place. And so I personally,
it's amazing to go back now and see how far I've come. That's one of the big advantages of actually having those recordings and seeing and understanding. In fact, today I was doing the same operation and thinking about being on this show and everything. It's like, I know how to do this, and I know when something's awry how to fix it from here. So yeah, it's a great resource.
Mm-hmm. Okay, excellent. And what's your favorite thing about being an OWLS member?
That you get help immediately or close to immediately. There's not this big delay. The whole thing about having you as a resource, because I get an hour a month with you as part of the Gold program, and then we have the questions and answers in the course. In a very short period of time, I get a response. I appreciate that a lot of people want to just do the course, offer you a course, and if you want to find out how to do this, you go through the course and you find what you need to learn. But sometimes I need somebody to tell me. I need them I can't just watch a video, no matter how many YouTube videos are out there. Sometimes I need somebody to answer my question about my problem with my client.
Yeah, I mean, because even when I teach a course, it has to be kind of generic about like this is the general approach. But then when you get in with a particular situation, there's always some little personalized twist
Yeah,
to
and how many times have we met together and you said, I've never seen this before.
it. That's one thing I like about working with you is you bring me all the interesting questions.
And that's another thing about working with someone directly is I don't know what I don't know. And a lot of times I feel like, well, am I supposed to know this? Because I do not have an accounting background. I do not have a bookkeeping background. So, is this something I just don't know because I'm not experienced, or is this something I don't know because it's unusual? And
Right.
having someone who has an incredible amount of experience to stand by me and say, no, this is weird.
You get that little bit of validation that
Exactly.
it's not just
Exactly.
you. Yeah, I mean, there's no such thing as a stupid question because, you have to know things that you don't know. And like you said, like knowing if it's just a weird situation or just something obscure you haven't come across, you get that confidence of knowing, hey, wait, I actually do know what I'm talking about. It's just this one situation. That's one thing that I've always appreciated about working with you is you ask great questions. So, why I enjoy working with you.
And that's something I had to learn to do too. And a lot of times we're afraid to ask questions because it's partly ego and partly imposter syndrome, where you don't want people to think that you're not smart or that you don't know what you're doing. But I'm at an age where I don't care. I need to ask this question. I need to know. And, if somebody has to spell it out for me and they're not patient enough to do it, well, then I'm in the wrong place.
Yeah, a lot of people operate out of not wanting to look bad or not wanting to be judged, and that's one thing
Mhm.
that working with me, like no judgment. Everybody is just where
Exactly.
you're at. Um, why did you pick RoyalWise over some of the other training programs out there? Because there are a lot of different options.
Yeah, I have actually worked with a couple of different people, and your flexibility in how you can be approached is a big part of it. Like I said, we got the hour that is automatic with my subscription. There's the ask a question in any particular course. There's the group questions that we can ask. We got the monthly open mic. I mean, there are
Mhm.
so many different ways to approach the resources of it. Well, you are the biggest resource and reason that I'm part of it, but there are so many people that have answers. So when we're at the open mic or we're asking questions within the members groups, there's just there's just different ways to get what you need.
Yeah, I really
And that's
love the
unusual.
Yeah, I love the flexibility of the OWLS that because we're using a learning management platform and not just something like Thinkific, we have complete flexibility to run it like a school program. So we've got discussion boards, we have Zoom meetings, we have all kinds of different ways so that everybody can learn differently. What advice would you give to other people who are career changers and want to get into bookkeeping?
Well, as I said, I've made a lot of career moves. Don't discount the experience that you do have doing anything. Most people who are looking at bookkeeping, it's like, well, I've done something like this before, but it doesn't have to be like this. I was dumped into QuickBooks purely by happenstance when a virtual assistant client of mine needed his books cleaned up for taxes, and I had no idea. what to do, that's when I had hired someone to help me with the cleanup, and I got my feet wet, and it's like, this is really cool. Um, I have a lot of different experience working with businesses, working with um, organizing and being disorganized. So I kind of know what the thought process is. But everybody's got something to bring to the table with wherever they've been on their career path. And you and I have talked a lot about different kinds of people that we work with. So that would be the biggest thing. And then the second thing is you're there as a service to the client. You're there to make their life easier. And if you approach it like that, rather than I'm the expert who's going to come in and make everything all better, no, not quite. I mean, you and I am so privileged that we are working in a particular situation where you may recover over $3,000 for somebody because they didn't know that they didn't actually get the money, perhaps. And
Right.
to me, those kinds of things are the big wins. Is making sure that everything's okay for them, not I want to have this job so I can make a lot of money because I heard someplace that bookkeepers make a lot of money.
Right.
No, it's more about helping the client.
Yeah. I really liked what you said about the wealth of experience that you had coming in, that right now our industry is really in flux because people are not coming up out of the traditional educational paths anymore, and a lot of the people coming into the bookkeeping industry are career changers. And what you specifically said about that wealth of knowledge and experience that you bring to the table, I really like the diversity that that brings to bookkeeping in general, because everybody's got a little different piece of the puzzle and a little slice of the pie, and it you there's so much stuff that you can learn on the fly. I mean, yes, there is a body of knowledge that you have to have in order to do things properly, but that's knowledge. The experience comes from the person. So, I absolutely appreciate your participation and your enthusiasm and all the great strides that you've made in the last few years.
Yeah, well, we're being a part of the OWLS has really short circuited the stretched from where I was to where I am now. I mean, I didn't have to go the circuitous route to go back to school and learn accounting and then learn all the standards of bookkeeping all across the history of the years. It's just
Right.
like, yep, we're in it, and it's time to learn.
Well, excellent. Well, thanks for taking the time to join us. It's been an absolute pleasure working with you over the years, and I look forward to continuing to get for you challenging me as well as me challenging you.
Yep, it's all fun.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining live from the Owl's Nest. I'm Alicia,
And Brenda.
and we will see you in class.